a second Gottlieb Spiderman CPU board, again with the dual 8K ROMs, and I'm going to leave those. And this one wasn't booting at all, and in fact it was so dead that the Quick Scan 80 just came up with a 0. It tries repeatedly to assert the reset signal, but and then it would indicate that an IRQ was stuck low. So in those kinds of situations, it's sort of a experience, follow your nose sort of thing. What can cause the Quick Scan 80 to not run at all? And one of the things that can cause the Quick Scan 80 to not run at all is a dead 6502 microprocessor, and that one that was in this board is dead, and I've replaced it with one from my NOS stock, and I got to put the big gold check mark on there, and also have to replace this filter cap and add a slam switch modification right here. And this CPU board will then go over to my test bench. I'll be there in just a second. I also removed an AMI 5101 here and put a machine pin socket, a 22 pin socket in there. And this is a, I don't know who made that one, but it's not AMI, so it works just fine. And regarding the machine pin socket, and a lot of people, or some people, want to put an NVRAM in there. So that's why I use a machine pin socket here. And otherwise, I'm totally against machine pin sockets. So the only time I use them is when you're putting a machine pin in a machine pin socket. So let's clean up a few things here and then get this over to the test bench. On the bench with this board, let's boot it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay. We have displays, well, sort of. You can see that, what is that, digits 4 and 5 are out on both player 2 and player 4. Now it could be this edge connector, one of these two edge connectors, or it could be 7448 BCD to 7-segment output buffer. We'll get to that in just a moment. We are in a tracked mode, and it is driving all the LEDs properly. But let's get into test. Pressing the credit button to skip to test 16. Tilt relay, and then game over relay, and then the tilt relay, and then the coin lockout relay twice, and then the centipede or caterpillar of chase lamps, which is nice. Test 17, which is solenoid test. We should see 6 solenoids light. 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is driving all the solenoids correctly. Again, System 80 games skip tests 3, 4, and 6, I think it was. Well, let's see. I'll run the test again by pressing the credit button. 3, 4, and 7. Right again, Chris. Well done. Now the next test, is test 18, which is switch test. 99 is normal for all switches open. Going through the diagonal as best I can, somewhat blind. We'll do 76 and 67, showing that column 7 and row 7 both work. And now we have display test. See if I can get rid of some glare. So those same 4 digits are not operational. Good to see the ones operating. So let me get some schematics up here, and we'll see if we can debug this issue with those 2 digits not firing on 2 displays. Well, I was ready to walk you through all the circuitry leading up to these 2 digits, but it turns out the problem was my edge connector for the displays had 2 pins that were just flattened out. So you can repin these. This is an OEM connector that I snatched from a game that somebody parted out with wire harness, and you got to yank those original pins out of there. They're kind of tough, but then you use the regular Gottlieb not Trifurcon pins and crimp them on there, and they slide right in. So you can see we have full operation of the displays now. That happens, you know, if you run your test bench long enough, you're going to have to repin connectors, edge connectors, even the other kind of connectors. So this CPU board is good to go, and I thank you. Oh, let me do this. Let me put a credit on it, or 2. Okay, power off. And I've got the CR2032 battery that I'll take out before shipping, because the shipping companies don't like us to ship alkaline batteries or any kind of batteries. And power back on. Wait our customary 5 seconds and see if those credits are still there, and they are. So power is correctly implemented to back up the 5101. There we go. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.